Hi, I'm Chris Wilson from Grinding Gear Games, creators of Path of Exile. This week's Build of the Week episode focuses on a level 92 Shadow created by a player called Space Janitor. This character is built around using Cast on Critical Strike to deal as much damage as possible. It achieves this to a staggering degree, with the author theory crafting several million DPS when the skills are applied in the right order under perfect conditions. The core of a Cast on Crit build is a high critical strike rate coupled with as many chances to crit as possible. This is then combined with as many different high damage payload skills as you have sockets for. In the case of this build, the critical strike rate comes from item and passive choices that we'll cover later in the video. To achieve a high number of possible crits, Barrage is supported by greater multiple projectiles, further increasing the number of arrows fired. The chosen payload skills are Arc, Fireball, and Arctic Breath. Due to the aforementioned crit rate, these are triggered frequently during combat. Arc usually hits the monsters first and has a chance to shock them. If this occurs, the following triggered skills deal a lot more damage. Fireball and Arctic Breath are used for their damage potential. Greater multiple projectiles serves double duty with this build by both increasing the number of potential crits from Barrage, but also by turning the triggered skills into an intimidating cone of death. Elemental damage reflection is of course a weakness for the skill combination. The character works around this by using an entirely separate cast on crit Barrage combo, this time with ethereal knives and chain to deal a lot of physical damage when needed. As well as two versions of Barrage, this build also runs two versions of Split Arrow for different purposes. Split Arrow was chosen because it lets you deliver a utility payload to a lot of targets quickly. The first Split Arrow gem uses Cast on Crit to cast two curses, Projectile Weakness and Elemental Weakness. A corrupted amulet is used to apply the second curse. This Split Arrow also generates power charges when it crits. When all the power charges are charged up, the character effectively crits constantly. The second Split Arrow gem is supported by Blind, Culling Strike, and Item Rarity. Not only is it useful to blind monsters defensively, but the Culling Strike Item Rarity combo is great for earning extra items from bosses. The Purity of Elements and Grace Auras are used to shore up defensive weaknesses. On the passive tree, the build is quite biased towards offense rather than defense. It has allocated a lot of critical strike nodes, some bow damage, and life. The keystones used are all defensive: Honda's Guile, Acrobatics, and Phase Acrobatics. To achieve its high critical strike rate, this build uses a lot of powerful unique items: Wind Ripper, Rat's Nest, Gifts from Above, Doryani's Invitation, and Atzeri's Step. The rares combine strong defenses with as much crit as possible. As mentioned before, the amulet has been corrupted to allow one additional curse to be applied to enemies. These highly defensive rare gloves have been corrupted to provide bonus levels to the auras that he is using. As can be expected with this build, several of the flasks have the Surgeon's prefix, so that they gain charges when the frequent crits occur. This character is not only interesting because of its raw damage, but because it has managed to fit a reasonable amount of increased item rarity mods in as well. While probably too fragile for a hardcore league, it's a great choice for finding items and having a lot of fun in the ambush league. Thanks very much for watching this video. We've posted a link to the build guide for this character in the description below. Remember to post your own builds in the class forums on pathofexile.com. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel if you'd like to see more videos. See you next week.